Welcome everyone to the MGE.TF League. Is this the 1v1 MGE League Grand Final between X and One Ties? I am Peter. We've got Siyo on production, and joining me on caster is Gray. How are you doing, Gray?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing good. This is my holiday, and this is how I'm spending it. I'm just watching two nerds battle it out in a 1v1 arena over and over again. This is some good
Hell
stuff.
yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to this personally. I kind of suck at MGE myself, but I mean, I think I hold up okay, but I know that these players are just on another level, so I'm ready to just see what these players can bring to the table in terms of how they play, especially since MGE can be such a competitive thing with it's really a staple of how people judge their own skills. So I really am curious to see how it will play out.
Yeah, it's gonna sound weird, but competitive MGE is kind of a new thing for me, just because I have always just used it as a warm-up tool. So I don't know what the competitive meta in it, like what's the smart place to stand, that kind of stuff. I never really bothered with that. I just used it to warm up and try and hit some cool air shots. That's all I did. So yeah, what's the actual, like, how do people play this? It's been literally 10 years since the last time I thought about that. So it should be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure. I think you can carry some meta of like, okay, well this works in just like random servers, or this has worked in maybe previous tournaments that I know have existed, but um it can be hard to kind of say for sure what's actually going to happen because those metas can really like there could just be different metas developed as it kind of goes on, especially in these kind of tournaments, as I believe we're going to be getting underway here momentarily.
Yeah, so we should
We're
mention
starting
that.
on Badlands grass middle, and we're
Yeah,
getting started right now.
yeah, X gonna start out. He has been undefeated so far in this league, so he should be the heavy favorite coming into this. You can see he's just shotgunning down One Pies as much as possible while he's jumping in, just to kind of stunt him, make it easier for him to hit his own shots. So just completely perfectly using that. Be firing rockets as well. And so far, not a single kill out of One Ties.
That was a fantastic rocket from X there, going right through the little crack of the crate there. Now One Tie's finally going to get first kill here with a 5-1 score. And X is looking pretty dominant so far, but now, oh, actually X does get the kill with the shotgun as well. I'm loving the use of this high ground around this little train cart here with the crates.
Yeah, it's a lot of juking around those little ledges to saying that you're going to go up or not. And you can see, as long as they don't hit that initial air shot, it's going to be a pretty even fight around the crates, just trying their best to juke each other out. Because hitting upwards rockets is actually really hard, but this is so close. 10 HP on X. He just needs a single shotgun pellet to be taken down. Yeah, One Tie's get it.
I gotta say, I'm really loving the shotgun play. There's a lot of like, I guess you could call it just like min-maxing of like how much damage each of these players are doing. It'll be like shotgun swap to rocket, swap to shotgun, so on and so forth, and just like really min-maxing how much damage they are doing together. And I think it's like, I mean, clearly it's working out. These kills are happening so fast, and now with a score of 10-5 in favor of X, I mean, there's clearly an advantage here, but One Ties is looking like he wants to keep this going, and he's getting a lot of really good damage in.
Yeah, he landed a really nice rocket there around the corner. Oh, and there we go. Finally hits the pre-fire air shot. Gives him a huge advantage. He can just shotgun him down, no problem. But actually, X hit a nice rocket there right before it died. So One Ties didn't get the full health respawn there. So that's going to be a quick kill for X once again. But he has the health, or sorry, the height disadvantage for that fight. So he's going to lose once again. And One Tie's super close to dying. There we go. Oh, the pre-fire. It's so dirty when it hits, man.
X with that air shot there as well. I mean, it's just nasty, like you said. And now One Ties actually is going to have the health advantage. Barely cleans up the kill. Now living as X bombs back in. Score of 14-10 in favor of X here. As X with a slight advantage now, X actually is going to fall to his death. As now One Ties maybe kind of crawling his way back in, and you never know. It's not over till it's over. Now 14-12.
Yeah, some really solid shotguns out of One Ties. He's doing maximum damage each time, it looks like. Gotten a bit of a momentum here. X, I think he started out going 5-0. So It's actually a bit of a comeback going on. No air shot hit, but the shotgun still ring true here for One Ties. Closing in. And there we go, X with a nice kill. It's such a rat arena, man. They're just constantly
is.
Yeah, sneak around these crates. I do kind of like the redesign of it. There's a little less inconsistency going on.
Definitely, and especially something I noticed about just like MGE in general, but especially in these tournaments, is momentum plays a huge factor in it. If you're starting to get kills and you're just racking them up, it can be really hard to kind of break out of that for the other person. As One Ties here has just been in a groove recently these past few rounds and is consistently now on par with X with 18 to 18. As these last couple rounds here are going to make the difference. One Ties now 1 round away from securing it. One Ties isn't able to get the last, and this is 19v19, and finally One Ties gets the kill and wins the first round.
Yeah, he still needs to win another round here. It's a best of 3 on this map in order to get the map won. But yeah, fantastic comeback by him. I like that they removed the house, by the way. It was always the worst place to jump from because you had to like walk out and get splashed before you even jumped. So that's gone. Yeah, but I think the reason why the momentum is so important is because you get the high ground just to start out with, right? So they have to jump you. That's an advantage. So there we
Absolutely,
go.
that's certainly a big part of it. But I think there is a mental factor as well. Sometimes you'll see that like One Ties has like maybe lost a few rounds, but then does something like that and just gets an amazing shotgun kill where like it just destroys the mental momentum of it, and it can be really hard to deal with. As X actually now the aggressor there as well. And each last of the few rounds, the aggressors have actually been the victors here. So I think it's almost disproving your point a bit is, but obviously the high ground still can be very valuable, just like that. It really just matters on how well you play it and how confident you're feeling in your own abilities.
Yeah, it's so close every single time. Like, you almost never see a complete shutout. I say yes, there's a complete shutout. As X actually won that round really handily here. Hits another air shot as well. It's whenever you hit that air shot, you just have such a big advantage coming in here. Now, whether or not it's momentum just on a mental point or the fact that we start on the high ground here, X was just cleaning up so many rounds in a row here. Finally, One Ties gets one back, but he is at a bit of a height disadvantage, but just juggles X around really excellently here. Comes back. Like, One Ties is just impossible to get rid of, it seems.
Well, this has certainly been the kind of grand finals that you want to see. With the scores are neck and neck now. It was 19-19 in that last round for how close it was. This is exactly what you want for a grand finals.
One Ties hits the really long shotgun there, just pelting him down slowly. But X looks like he's going to take this one. He just needs one shotgun. There we go. Takes him down. But X, he doesn't get the high ground, though, to end the round. But looks like he doesn't even need it. Completely demolishes One Ties in that one round there. And One Ties does get one back, though, as another jump in comes here. Doesn't get denied. And oh, this is the Occupy. You don't have enough health to actually jump.
Yeah, you just kind of gotta do that awkward like chip shot, like shoulder peeking. And it's funny because that can actually come into play so much in the game itself. If you're ever playing something like Shotgun Soldier in like casual or something. But what's interesting about MGE in particular is because you know, this kind of shotgun play isn't ran in things like sixes, it really doesn't come into play that much. I guess maybe the other place you'll see it is like in twos sometimes. Speaking of which, these two players are, you know, 2v2 teammates, so they are definitely familiar with how they play together, and I'm sure have practiced this many a time out of, you know, an actual tournament. So having them
actually also
here
6v6 teammates. They play on the same team.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to play that team, but actually when I looked up, they're playing in Div 2. Oh my god, One Ties is just hitting so many nice air shots right now. Just
I know,
it's
incredible.
Yeah, but I did look up some logs. I forgot to look up whether or not he was using shotgun in-game. I don't think he was. They were actually struggling quite a bit, except on Viaduct. On Viaduct, they were murdering, which is kind of what you expect. And there we go. X gets another round. It's 1-1. One more round to take the map.
Yeah, like we were talking about before, that momentum just kind of kicks in. I think like it was neck and neck before. It was kind of almost two reverse sweeps there where, well, I say for the first... for the second round there, it was kind of even to start, but then X kind of took the lead towards the end versus in the first round, it It was X taking the lead pretty steadily, and then One Tie's made a very steady comeback here. Now is X already up 3-0 in this third half here.
It's
now
a nice rocket there.
Another nice air shot. Wow.
Alright, he actually does a high jump in here. Still, though, X is just feeling the momentum right now, cleaning up One Ties. He's really struggling to get around. Trying to hide around the corner here, but another great rocket. I can't actually see the score because I'm not cool enough to join this group itself. But yeah, okay, 8 or 9-0.
Yeah, 8-1 now. As you know, something else that really impressed me, especially about this map, is how precise you have to be with your splash damage on the crates and on the train area. If you miss by even a fraction, it can just completely destroy. As X gets 2 incredible shots there. One just with that, what I was talking about with that precision on the train cart. Just get that splash damage in, and X actually ends up killing himself there. Now scored 9-5 in favor of X still, but it is looking just so close. One Tie's again steadily making his way back here. Gets a nice air shot, and One Tie's now back again 9-7 in favor of X. But One Tie's with the momentum now, getting more damage, having better health here, and gets another kill.
Yeah, it's so nasty. These air shots just to deny them. They shoot them before they jump, I swear. They just know it's about to come in here. And One Tie is doing so much better all of a sudden. Can really feel the momentum shifting here. Missed a couple of rockets in a row now. And I think X is just banking on the shotgun to kick it. And there we go. Tied up.
I think something for this map in particular, I mean, I was talking a little bit about the precision as well, but I think another factor of it is just the experience of this map. If you do not have the experience of, like, knowing, like, okay, this is how the game flow is of, like, you know, how you play around the crate, how you're supposed to, you know, do these, like, predictable air shots, when you're supposed to switch from shotgun to rocket launcher, like, I think that all comes into play with the experience of the map. And, I mean, you can tell these two players have been going at it for a long time now.
Oh no,
and
this is my least favorite part of MGE.
Champions.
This is the worst. You're just chip shotting from long range.
Oh my gosh.
So dumb. It's the
50
worst.
HP versus 12 HP, 2 HP. Oh, it gets scary here.
Yeah, actually, like,
splash
okay,
damage.
just going for the...
So scary here. Oh my god, this is intense. 12 HP, 2 HP. Oh! Finally got sniped. Oh my gosh, the air shots from X are incredible right now. I mean, really from both players, but I've been impressed with X's air shots. Like, look at that, that's insane.
Yeah, that's nasty. Like, how do you know he's going to go that far wide? Really good prediction there. Actually misses a couple of splash rockets there on the edge. One Tie's will end up really dying to it still, but okay, this one's looking pretty good for One Tie. Finally gets one back. See if he can get some momentum built up here for himself. Gets another one. Gets that
again.
Nice shot there. Yeah, that momentum is real, man. I don't think that issue can be explained by having high ground. That's just pure mental. As he's just spamming him down, dancing around the crate. X has a significant health advantage and will end up winning it.
I've been really impressed with just, I guess, the kind of rotations around these crates, if you want to call it that. It's something that you don't really see outside of MGE too much. You know, occasionally in like Highlander or something you could see it, or like, you know, with like Insects you can see like scouts kind of doing like these jiggle peeks, but really you never see soldiers doing it. And obviously it's gonna have they're gonna have the unique speed with how slow their bodies are, and the only thing that can really mitigate that, of course, is the rockets.
One more.
Yeah, one more now from X until he wins this. But One Tie's still in it for sure, but X is going to take it, gets kill into One Tie's, wins the final round, and that is going to be map 1 in favor of X.
Yeah, the big favorite going into this is him. I think the next one is Spire. Let me check if it was Spire or Silo. Yeah, next one be Spire. I assume it's Badlands. I actually forgot to ask about like different classes and that kind of stuff. But yeah, Soldier is just the quintessential MGE class. So, and like Spire, it's the quintessential MGE map. Well, there we go. One Tie's actually gonna wait until he hears a jump to jump himself, but just gets shotgunned down completely, and now stunted as well.
Yeah, I think if there's ever a map that maybe applies a little more to that kind of momentum you're talking about, I think it would be this one with the height advantage can just be so like frustrating to try to get the person off. But as we say that, I mean, if you want to see how to try to, stop that, this is how to do it. Watch these two players for your tutorial, because this is, I mean, just look how amazing these bombs are. They're so precise with their rockets and their splash damage, and now it's 3-3. The aggressors are actually almost being the more favorable, player in the matchup every time, which is just incredible, because usually in, just especially in just like public MGE, you'll often see that the person, whoever has the high ground, is just going to control the space, and especially with that shotgun, if they can consistently hit their shots. But now with both One-Ties and X at a 4-5 score, it is going to be looking like maybe, well, as I say that, One-Tie is now getting the shotgun kill, and it's just so back and forth.
Yeah, that little lip on Badlands Spire is just infamous for being really good for shotgun heckling, because they can't see most of your body and you can just peek over it and then hit a nice little shot. X right now, though, a little bit too far down, I think. But he's just going to be shocking around with his shotgun. Actually hits it right before taking the rocket. He's going to have a health disadvantage going into this, but if he just hits the air shot, oh, actually misses the rockets. That's too bad. I think those were too easy for him, to be honest.
That's almost a jump scare there.
Yeah, truly. So, X going to take one back now onto the Spire. It's a nice shot. He gets a nice just juggle there with the rocket and gets the second one. And an air shot. Can he get the double? Kinda. It just goes for the easy splash damage. That's all he needs to win. There we go. I kind of, I don't know, almost detest this just play on the percentages. You just go for the splash damage when you know that's all you need to win, instead of going for the air shot.
Something I love watching, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but just the efficiency with how both these soldiers are playing their damage with switching between their rockets and their shotguns. Obviously, it's going to be something that's pretty unique to MGE, but it really just kind of makes you think this is the way to do the most damage in a 1v1 if you're ever playing in casual or something, potentially, is this is your damage potential. As One-Ties hits a great shot there with the prediction rocket onto the upper area of that little panel there, and now One-Ties again getting another kill. Going to be still down, actually, well, now even 13v13 for the score, and it's looking very close here. He's going to land on the high ground, actually gets the shotgun kill, and finally X falls down to his death. Now 14-13 in favor of One-Ties.
Yeah, he's really making a comeback once again, but a nice shot from X. Completely catches him out. And X currently is just splashing him up on that high ground and denying him with this shotgun. It's so weird. He's not playing on the high ground, he's playing on the little lip instead of it. This time around, though, gets punished for it, just gets rocketed down. And One-Ties. Actually, it kind of feels like One-Ties right now is better at using rockets, whereas X is just cleaning up with the shotgun so heavily.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. I mean, you see that these soldiers are smart enough about knowing if these players are mid-air, sometimes it can be better to just pull out the shotgun, but at the same time, these players are also going for these incredible kills with their rockets at the same time and just getting these air shots that I could never land, as that is going to be X taking the first round on a score of 20-17.
Yeah, just needs one more now to win the grand finals. And there we go. It's going to jump up really heavily. By the way, I think, now that I think about it, One-Ties is a soldier player, and then X is a scout player, I believe. So it kind of makes sense that X would rely on the shotgun a little bit more than the rockets. It kind of plays to his own strength, and One-Ties the same with his rockets here. So that's kind of an interesting little side, I don't know, consideration to go for here.
I love the kind of abuse of the head glitch that X is doing there. It reminds me of watching heavy gameplay in Highlander.
Yeah.
Just how they're playing these head glitches so beautifully, and especially with the jiggle peeking too, with obviously Soldier having that Soldier has almost a perfect slowness of his momentum to do these kind of jiggle peeks.
Yeah, it's a big hitbox, kind of slow, and then it just works out really beautifully here. Ooh, X barely holding onto the high ground there, wins him another round, but now he's on the way low ground. Yeah, there's no way to dodge that. He gets caught out there and just barely doesn't make it onto the high ground once again. So he is getting bullied quite a bit right now in these last two rounds. Let's see if One-Ties can keep it up though. I love, by the way, that when they redesigned this arena, they just kept a little hole in the spire that you can sneak a shot through.
I know, it's great. I'm really like I just want to say as well the designs of these arenas are really nice. I'm really impressed by them. As one ties is going to be at the advantage here of 10-6, now 11-6, maybe wanting that comeback. And I mean, hey, it's never over until it's over. As X actually gets air shot by one ties. One ties now again finally finds the shot onto X. Is going to be taking a little bit more damage on the side of X here, but now it still could be anyone's game. One ties on the high ground is going to be getting the shotgun kill, and now finally descends on X as he respawns. X with 0 HP dies again. Now 14-6 in favor of One Ties. One Ties is on that momentum grind here, getting the shotgun. MGE finally loses, but it is going to be a lot of rounds in favor of One Ties now, as X maybe trying to just make the comeback of his own here. One Ties trying his best to land these rockets. X cannot find the shot, finally does, and now One Ties still 14-9, 15-9 now. One Ties really wants this round back.
Yeah, X has a lot of work to do here. He's almost certainly going to win this round. You can see he just needs to hit him a single time there with a shotgun. There we go. One Ties now going to jump in very aggressively, but ends up not quite at the right lip here. And, oh, this is why X can really make a comeback, just constantly denying him with the shotgun. Look at that.
Yeah, you never know until it's over with these players, as they're just both so competent in their own ways. And
nice air shot.
What an air shot. And
yeah,
again, actually, One Ties just gets the air shot of his own as revenge. Like I said, both confident in their own ways, just doing these incredible things. Now 14-16 in favor of One Ties. The lead is slimming.
Oh, looking for him with the shotgun. There we go. Sets up the air shot perfectly. That's going to be all it takes here for X to win that one.
It was 15-6, and now it is 17-16. This has been an incredible comeback from X. This is insane. I don't really have any words. This is absolutely that momentum we were talking about, and X now one round away and is going to win it.
Wow, that is a crazy comeback out of X, and that's going to be GG's called out. He wins 2 arenas out of 3. That's going to be that. I think we're done here. I don't actually know if there's any prize money to go around, but there we go. X, I think he was 17-0 before this grand final, and yeah, make that 18-0 overall. That's an insane record from him. So should be interesting. I really hope he can translate this into like 6v6 play, because it's one of those things that it doesn't completely carry over, but it has a lot of carryovers still. It's just one aspect of the game where you're really good.
Hey, even if you can't carry that over into 6s, being able to win this and go undefeated, that's something you can hold on to for the rest of your life. That's an incredible achievement that really I don't think many other people can say they've achieved. So you should be really proud of that. And I think, that's something that you can't really take for granted. On the side of One Ties, though, coming that close and being that that consistently able to put up a good fight in these rounds, that's something that they should also be very proud of. And I think on both sides it was just an incredible match, and I'm just so glad that both of us were here to watch this and cast it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and as we said, that's going to be that. Well, it's a very short stream today. The one of the only questions I have left is there also a Demo Man and Scout competition, or is it just a Soldier League? Do you know?
Personally, I'm not sure. I
Uh,
believe it's that players can play what they want. So
oh,
especially for a
okay.
lot of these maps, something like Spire, soldiers will, uh, kind of dominate. And I believe there's more going on with the 2v2s going tomorrow. There's a lot of stuff coming up. So both these players can be happy about just warming up and just getting in shape for that.
Yeah, so more action tomorrow. Not sure if it's going to be on Fireside Cast. Probably will be. But I will also just shout out that the Land Down Under is happening. Kind of tomorrow, kind of depend on what time zone you're in. So that's also happening in about like 8 hours or something. Maybe less. It's going to start at like 2 a.m. European
Ooh,
time.
I'm gonna have to
But
tune in for that.
yeah, it's a good
If we're
fun.
shouting out lands, the RGL lands coming up next week too.
True. It's land summer, baby. All right.
Hell
It was fun, Gray. Let's wave our goodbyes and see you guys next time on Fireside TV.
All right, take care, everyone.